So thank you everyone for joining today. We have Rob Backus from Home Tagz here to join us. We're really excited about this product, and we know that they just recently partnered with Realty One Group Corporate. So I'm just gonna let Rob take the floor and let him present.
Great, thanks Rachel. Yes, hi everyone, Rob Backus. I'm the founder of Home Tagz. And so for those who haven't or aren't familiar with our product, we are an engagement platform that allows the seller and agent to work together to create an interactive experience for buyers while they're touring the house. This came from an organic problem that I had, my wife and I had selling our house in 2019, back when the market was, somewhat normal. It took us about 3 or 4 months to sell our house. And, we had asked our agent, what are you going to do differently, or how are you going to make sure that everything that we're proud of that we did with our house, how are you going to make sure that the buyers are aware of it? And I didn't really get an answer I liked, but we went with it. And, over time, we would get feedback from just buyers walking through or agents. We'd see the doorbell cam and people were making false assumptions. And it was just a really frustrating experience that I wasn't there to tell the story. My agent wasn't there to tell the story. We relied on an antiquated system, to hold all of the information about our house and somehow get the buyers excited. And so we kind of set out to fix this situation, searched high and low to see if there was already a solution out there, and there really wasn't. So that's kind of the backstory to how Home Tagz came to be. And I will just jump in, give you guys a quick presentation and kind of a recap of what we do, and then jump into actual product demo. And so for those that are on, please feel free to chime in or interrupt anytime. Screen. Okay. All right. So Home Tagz, what we do is we are set out to inform buyers. We want to add contextual value, and we want to build relationships and build value in the house. We don't want you to be limited by any existing software that you might have currently. So we want to accurately represent all of a home's features. We want to build confidence with the sellers, increase that relationship, add value and excite buyers, engage and influence the buying decision, and also generate leads. We want to empower listings so buyers gain instant access to your content, add needed context when and where it matters, simple QR code access or share link. We also syndicate to all of the major search sites through the virtual tour. We have no text, image, or file restrictions, and we also provide working analytics as well. We target to be the perfect walkthrough companion. We don't want them staring at their phone the entire time. We don't want them constantly having to read large paragraphs. We want to be there when they have a question, is what our goal is. And so instantly see improvements, disclosures, maintenance items, interesting home facts. The buyer intro allows you to call out hot topics up front even before they start their tour. It's very simple to use. Add listing sheets, surveys, disclosures, and more. And we want you to stand out from every other home out there. Drill into the details. So everything is organized by room, so it's very easily to consume the content. Add additional images and files to any hotspot, videos, listing sheets, PDFs, formats with rich text to get away from paragraphs, and be able to show home improvements and features, seller disclosures, interesting home facts, and even items that are for sale. Building the relationship with your seller. So I'll go back to how we came about doing this, and our agent was a longtime friend of ours, but we just were overall frustrated, and it wasn't his fault. He just didn't have there wasn't a good mechanism to be able to get our story over to the buyers. And so I feel strongly that if my agent would have presented me with Home Tagz as his differentiator, that all of my issues would have gone away. And Home Tagz can also be used to generate leads. And so if you have, for example, a open house and you have 10 or 12 people in the house, you only be able to spend time with 1 or 2 at a time. being able to have them scan QR code and have the same experience, everyone be consistent, and then be able to fill out the form in HomeTagz, that you will now have a digital version of their information instead of asking them to fill out a paper form. So it's just a little bit more modern way of generating leads. So that's it on the boring presentation of kind of what we do. I do want to jump right into a demo because I think that will be a lot more meaningful to all you folks. And so this is where I'll ask if you all have phones. I'll also provide this link to those that are watching it later who are watching this on a phone. But if you scan this QR code, if you're on a desktop, you can experience what a buyer will experience and as fast as they will experience it. So I'll just kind of give this a moment. I know we don't have too many people on the line, but I will give it another 10 or 15 seconds.
I'm checking it out. It's pretty cool.
All right. I'll take that as a cue. So
Yeah,
what you'll see.
Oh,
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say the same thing Kim did, that this is actually really cool that you can just like tap on little things and it pops up with like actual features like the hardwood siding. I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, awesome. Great. So yeah, so you're in. So for those who didn't have a chance to scan it, this is what would show up on your phone. There's no signups, there's no downloading apps, there's no friction whatsoever as far as getting the buyers to engage in this listing. So, face value, you're going to see some stuff that you probably are pretty used to seeing, the front photo, some other photos, some property description. But you can also do things like attach your, surveys, seller disclosures, other attachments that some MLSs don't allow you to do, and actually give those to the buyers. We have an option to be able to add a contact form, your business card, map, and other things. Now, really, it gets interesting when you swipe into that first photo. So as you can see, we have these pulsating hotspots. That represents the features, disclosures, general information, and again, the items for sale. We have 4 types of hotspots. So let's imagine that the buyers were walking up to this house and they noticed that there was a concrete patch next to the front door. So they're probably instantly going to ask their agent, hey, does this house have foundation problems? What's going on here? And so it's going to cause anxiety. They're not even in the house yet. It could impact their buying decision. What's going on here? So instead of having to wait for a response, they can actually tap into that hotspot and be able to find out what that disclosure is all about. So in this case, foundation work was done in 2018. 24 piers were added to stabilize any movement, lifetime transferable warranty. And here's an engineering diagram of the work that was actually completed. So it's a disclosure, yes, it may be a deal code, maybe it won't, but at least they're well informed now and they can make up a decision as to whether or not it impacts their buying decision. It's not just about disclosures, it can be just features as well. So, again, with this house, buyers might look and say, hey, I really like the wood look, but what kind of wood is that? Or what's the maintenance on it? Is it cedar? Is it going to be high maintenance? Things like that. And so instead of making an assumption again, they can drill in and find out that, oh, this is, Ipe hardwood. And here's some facts, passively that they can read about Ipe. So it's a 75-year hardwood, resistant to fire, insect, mold, etc. So this is a premium product that is, multiplier, more expensive than cedar. And so they need to recognize that, hey, this house, has some upgrades that I should be aware of. And then things that like people will just completely pass by, right? So if you tap on the number 2, this allows you to kind of expose things that may get missed or overlooked. In this case, it's 21 SEER AC units that, were recently replaced. They're smart home capable, fully warranted, and you can also attach utility bills to this particular tag. So, we all know that people are always going to eventually ask for, utility bills. But here, while they're engaging in the property and you're making a claim that they're going to have improved HVAC or improved electricity bill, you can go ahead and attach it right then and there, which just adds to the engagement. It adds to the excitement. Anything that they are experiencing is going to be heightened. So as you're going through, on this room, you're going to see a couple other tags. So you still have the feature, you have one disclosure, you have this flashing eye. This is the one that I like to tell real estate agents that this is your time saver, right? It's nothing exciting. It could be as simple as the chimney was swept in 2019, but think about how many times you get the same question over and over and over again. Where's the septic system located? Are the appliances conveyed? When was the roof replaced? These things that just constantly get asked, and they're one line text messages back or one quick phone call during dinner, but these are the type of things that you can put in here, and the buyers are going to appreciate because they get instant answers. So there's no friction. It doesn't slow them down from their tour. Something that's not going to help you sell houses, but it can get you further away from being the communication middleman, is like things that are for sale. I mean, I know when we were buying a house that we were always like, hey, is that, dresser or bed set or couch, for sale? And our agent would, gracefully go and find out for us. And half the time it wasn't for sale. This just gives an opportunity for your sellers to tell you up front, like, hey, we're trying to get rid of the pool table. Let's go ahead and throw it in there. And now buyers will at least be aware of, hey, mahogany pool table, $2,500. That's what we want for it. And it gets you one step closer to resolution and one step more removed from those type of conversations. So a lot of this is just more of the same, room by room in a very digestible format, instead of having, pages of information scattered along the kitchen counter, or the pop-up tents are very cool, but you really can't put a lot of detail on them. So this is just kind of a modern way of being able to say, hey, room by room, what's interesting in here? What do I need to engage in? What questions could I get answered? And hopefully create a really good experience for the buyers. We have a couple different ways of presenting information. So, like on this one here, we have a description down below with nothing here. Here we're overlaying the description on top of it. So this could be, if you want to call out that this was remodeled, or if it's a room dimension, anything that you want them to kind of see on top of it that's not going to impact it, you get to make those decisions as you're building out the profile. We also have what we call picture-in-picture, which is not a new concept, but allows you to add in video and an additional photo. So this goes to that adding context, right? So here we're looking at, an aerial of the property. Well, this might be a good time to actually show them any drone footage that you have as well. So, kind of, again, they're in that mode of looking at it from a vertical perspective, and this will just add to that experience. You can also do some of the other use cases are photos, where if you have an empty house, you could have one photo that is the room empty and one photo of it being virtually staged. You can show before and after photos for like major renovations, or you can even do like fun things like this, where you can add a GIF and just kind of be silly about it, and you'll probably get a pretty good reaction from buyers on that. Okay, so that's it really pretty much as far as the tags go. I know normally I would open this up for questions, so if there's anybody, please chime in that is on the line. Otherwise, I'll just continue. Okay.
I'm following pretty good. Just keep going, I guess. I don't have any questions right now. It's
okay.
Cool.
Awesome. So one other thing that we really try to do is not make you reproduce information that's already out there. You already go through the trouble of populating the MLS and any of those other obligations that you have to do. So what we'll do, we only require a little bit of information that is like the address, the phone number, or not the phone number, the price, the current status, things like that. But then you can attach the actual listing sheet. So this is going to be an export from your MLS in PDF form, and then you can just attach it here so that buyers can have access to that immediately. Sometimes some of the MLSs out there don't let you get this information without going through their seller's agent. Well, in the situation where you have someone coming from outside of your jurisdiction, they won't even have access to your MLS to get that information. So this is just one more hole to fill when trying to make sure that you can give all of the information on room sizes, HOA dues, things like that you want to make sure are conveyed. In my original presentation, at the very beginning, I talked about a buyer intro. So this is what we, let me show you right here. So this right here. So this is a configurable pane that comes up when the QR code is scanned. So it can either come up automatically, or you can invoke it, or you can cause it to come up by clicking that additional info button. What it is an opportunity to kind of kick things off. So they haven't, all they've, you know, they saw the house online, they just pulled in the driveway, and, you know, they know really nothing about this house. And so you can do things like, hey, call out that this house connects to a horse trail, or that, you know, it's a private, I just talked about that one, that the outdoor kitchen was recently updated, very low HVAC bills, no HOA, you know, fastest internet in the area. Anything that you want to call out up front, this is an opportunity that you can do that. The backstory behind the feature like this is, you know, going back to my original, you know, frustrations about making sure that the buyers were informed, was my agent would call and say, hey, Rob, you have a tour at 1 o'clock, you know, can you guys take off? Sure. So we'd wait till they were actually in our driveway, parked, walking up to the front door. And my wife and I, we would run out the front door like we were running late. We weren't. And we would apologize. And just so we could cross paths with them and throw out 3 or 4 things that we just wanted them to know. Like, hey, make sure you walk to the back of the property because we connect to a horse trail. You know, or hey, you know, make sure to check out whatever, the pool or the foam insulation, whatever we wanted to spit out at the time. We use that as an opportunity to kind of kick off their tour. And so this is a way to kind of simulate that, is, you know, calling out notable features before they even start the tour. Okay. So I know I threw out a lot in a very short period of time. So I'm, you know, happy to answer questions about the presentation part. I do want to show you a little bit about the portal and how you go from having a listing to something like this, and you can do it in a pretty short period of time. So I will jump over to the portal. You'll just, you'll sign in, you'll create a property, and what will end up happening is you have these side panels. And if you just made your way down them, then you're going to be safe. So if you go through like listing information, I mentioned we don't collect a lot of data. So property name, property description, primary photo, address, price, year built. That's pretty much it. This is all it takes. This is the amount of overlap that you're going to have with the MLS. We will have MLS integrations in the future. It hasn't really come up as a need just yet. Another thing that I want to call out on this page is we have AI built into our platform throughout. So we call it just HomeTagz AI Assist. It's pretty much there to just help you create content. So you can, you know, come in and say, you know, let's call it, you know, 4,000, you know, square foot, ranch home, Lakeview, great schools, something. You just, anything that you want to say about this house. And we're going to go ahead and take a stab at a content block that's roughly around 700 characters. So this stunning 4,000 square foot ranch home is a perfect blend of modern luxury, classic charm. Enjoy breathtaking lake views from a large window. That's plenty of light in, home features, spacious open floor plan, perfect for entertaining. And so you can kind of go through and tweak this if you're, you know, one that isn't, you know, kind of like me, who just isn't great at writing these blocks of text. Our AI assist is there to help you kind of get things started. Then you can go in and tweak it all you want if you want to add a sentence or kind of break it up. That's just one of the features that we have. The buyer intro, again, you know, the AI assist here, opportunity to add video or images. Uploading rooms, very simple. You just take the photos that you received from your photographer or any other photos that might be like of the HVAC unit, if you want to call that out. Drag and drop them right here and it will create this tile. These are all, you know, sortable, so you can kind of drag and drop them wherever you want. And then we'll give you a recap of like how many tags you might have in that room. So, you know, say you do this over a couple day period of time and you forget where you are, we'll tell you what you've done on each room. So if we go in and said, okay, let's go in and edit this room, adding a tag is literally as simple as pointing where you want it to go. So let's say we had new windows, click on a window. Let's say we have, you know, new 2018 or 2023 Pella windows. So this is our AI assist again. So you can absolutely fill out this, if you have the details or something specific that you want to say. Otherwise, you can absolutely add in the AI assist, and we'll come up with like a couple taglines, like new 2023, Pella windows, homeowner dream. You can kind of just choose if you want these, and then we'll come up with this charming. This one just said 3-bedroom because we didn't give it any information. It offers 2023 Pella windows. Enjoy the natural light, keeping the energy bills low. Click on it and it populates it over here. You can then tweak this and say that this is a 4-bedroom instead. And so again, our goal with the AI Assist is not to create all the content for you. We just want to create enough content that gives you the information you need to get through this quickly, but you still are able to add your marketing touches to it. Hit save, and now you can see that we have a tag there. And that's really all it takes to create tags. If we were to go to another room, we also, let me go to the kitchen, a little bit more interesting. We also have feature suggestions. So we are using AI to scan this image and also try to detect points of interest that you might just want to, take on. So in this case, we're detecting a range hood, natural light, tile floors, kitchen bar, refrigerator, things like that. And so if you looked at a room and you're like, I really don't know what I want to call out, we are going to give you some ideas that you can choose to leave, ignore, use. If you want to take advantage of one, you can just literally click on range hood and you're back into how you create a tag. So we're started the tag off. It's going to drop it in the right place. You just add in some of the text that you want and go from there. Back out of that. We also have a couple other things going on over here. So the tag itself so we're in the room view right now. If we wanted to drill into one of these, then we just tap on the actual tag, and now we're in, so teppanyaki, bunch of information about that. We can add in extra images that we want to show. If we have attachments, say this is a PDF version of the brochure. And then we also have this share button. So we have a feature called deep links, and what it allows you to do is create QR codes and links that will fast forward the user to a particular area of the house. So you all scanned this QR code originally, and that took you to the main entry point for the house, which was the home page. If we were to go in and say, boy, this teppanyaki sure is special, I'm going to put a QR code right next to it on the kitchen, and you could just download this QR code and put it on a sign. And then what will happen is, just like if I grab this link right here, it's going to fast forward the user to that particular room, to that particular tag, and pop it open. If you think about the kitchen was probably a bad example in the sense that, the kitchen's usually right next to the front door in most houses. But let's say that, really the biggest feature of a house happened to be a remodeled master bathroom. So that's pretty deep in the house. You're going to go through several rooms to get to it. If you really want to make sure and avoid them possibly missing the QR code at the front door, you really want to make sure that they know everything there is to know about the bathroom remodel. Then you can go in, grab that QR code or that deep link, and make sure that, hey, boom, I want to make sure that you get this particular content. And then when they close it, they're just back in the normal tour. They can click through, continue on. They don't have to close it or start over or anything like that. Okay. And you can do that both on the room level as well as the tag level. So if you didn't want to pop open the teppanyaki, you could fast forward to the kitchen or the master bathroom and not have any tags pop open for them. Picture in picture, this is where you would embed a video or embed a picture. Let me see if I can find the one I did. It's right here. So this is that one that was drone footage, and then you can also decide where you want it to show up. So in case it's like, covering up something that's important, here you can move it and actually just place it wherever you want. Okay, so I'll move on to campaigns. What campaigns are is a way to track how people are interacting with this listing. So you can report back to your seller and say, here's what's working, here's what's not working. It all takes you to the same place, but it allows you to bucket people. So imagine that you want to market to your sphere. So you can go in here, create a new campaign. Let's call it, non-branded activity. And I'm going to turn off the feedback form. I'm going to turn off the contact form. I'm going to hide my branding, because I want, everyone in my sphere to send it to their buyers, right? So you can go ahead and create a non-branded version of it. And then as you distribute this link or the QR code, which will be pop up here, right? Yep. Then anyone that goes to that is going to see a different version of this. So you can see it's the same listing, still has the tags, but you notice that there is no branding on here. There's no contact form. So this is just going to make, depending on your audience, going to make them a little bit more comfortable about distributing this virtual tour. Some of the platforms, have restrictions on whether or not you can have your branding on it or not. And then obviously when you're dealing with other realtors, you may or may not be comfortable enough to do that. So we give you the full ability to customize these. And as people distribute that link, you're going to start to see the progress, how many views, how many scans, how many people favorited it. Another example would be create a campaign that's for Facebook or social media posts. And so you can see how many people engaged with your property that came specifically from Facebook or came from a sign writer or came from the MLS listing virtual tour. So you can just kind of get pretty granular as far as how people are interacting, where they came from, and then you can report that back. So we can create an activity report and you can include your sellers in that. File library. So we allow you to upload, documents to tags and rooms and all of that good stuff. But sometimes, there's something that's it's a little bit more generic, like surveys, seller disclosures, floor plans, covenants and restrictions, things like that. So we give you a file library where you can upload as many documents as you want and name them what you want. And those will show up for buyers to be able to see. If I go back to here, is right in this area is where you'll see all the documents. Collaborators. So this is where you can invite your sellers to participate in this in a limited way. I'll go back to, again, when I was selling my house, my realtor said, hey, Rob, email me all of your warranties, your updates, your remodel information, what's going on with the disclosures. Just give me a dump of everything you have. And I'd spend hours creating all this giant email that he would then take and parse into, what's going to go in the property description, what's going to go on the MLS, what is going to get tossed out, what's, basically all this knowledge he's trying to figure out how to create a marketing plan for. Well, instead, he could have said, hey, Rob, I just invited you to HomeTagz. Go in there and upload, information about the disclosure, the kitchen remodel, the backyard. Go ahead and just, add in all the documents. And I would have loved it. Not all buyers are or not all sellers are going to feel the same or have as interesting of a story. But this is an option that you have available to you to be able to include them, which they will appreciate and just kind of strengthen that relationship even more. Plus, sometimes the way that they word things, is interesting. I've seen a lot of examples here over the last couple of years that are pretty wild. So permalinks. So this is a way, let me go back to here real quick. So one of the features that we have is this QR code, right? Deep links, QR code right here. You can just tap on this and it gives you a high res version of the QR code that you can print out. Well, what happens when the property sells, right? Every house has a different QR code. So it really prevents you from creating permanent nice signage. Well, we created permalinks. And so what that does is creates QR codes and links that are associated to you and your account that you can assign the property to. So it allows you to create, let me see, here I've got one. This is one. So like right here. So this is a pedestal sign that I had created. So the actual QR code is printed on here, and these belong to your account, not a particular property. And this could be everything from sign writers. There's a sign writer, like you can put your brand on, have the QR code on this side, and that are permanently, they're there, so they're nice. And then what will happen is you'll go into the property and you can assign the permalink right here. So this will be an inventory of all the signs that you have created. You choose one, and now anytime someone scans that particular sign, they're going to go to that listing. When this listing sells and you archive it, that sign is now freed up. You can just move it on to the next sign. So spending, if this becomes part of your strategy, spending money on pedestal signs or sign writers, like, it's definitely something we recommend. Okay, I think that's really it. There's quite a bit of other little features, but we really touched on all the things that are kind of differentiate us from every other virtual tour or any other engagement platform out there. And so if there is anyone here that has questions, please let me know.
What does it mean to be partnered with Realty One Group?
Okay, great. Glad you asked. So yeah, the relationship with Realty One has been great. We connected first with them about a year ago. Went to a Colorado show and kind of met some folks there, and then we went to One Summit, and that was really exciting. And so we just launched. I think it's actually going to be in the it was in the broker newsletter last week, and it's going to be launched tomorrow's newsletter for everybody else. So what we have is some rates that are below all of our standard rates. So to become to be part of, anyone that's part of Realty One is going to get the pricing that's here on the screen. So if you're signing up as an individual, you can sign up for free and use the whole platform to at least create the property. It won't be an active listing. It won't be like public until you choose a plan. Our lowest plan starts at $9, which gives you 2 active listings. That will those are rolling listings, right? So if you have one that's active for a month or 2, then you archive it, and then that frees up the space for another one. So you have 2 active ones at any given time. The $20 plan, which is $4 less than our normal plan, which our normal plan also gives you 8. So you can have 10 active listings for $20 a month, which is going to cover, the majority of folks out there who have, several listings that are active for, a couple months at a time. And then if you have, higher volume, it goes up from there. We also offer team setups as well, where you can have multiple people working under the same account that share the active listings, that have visibility to each other. It's going to give you a little bit more unified reporting. And so we offer that at $100 a month for 10 active users. And then if there's any desire to go to the brokerage itself level, then that's just, how many users are we talking about? And then we would give you an estimate based on that. One of the unique features that Realty One does get is custom branding. So I had showed you this. So this is what our standard product looks like. Anything that's created under Realty One will get black and gold version of it as well. And then we do have a version of, I missed it. At the 35 and up plan, you're able to customize it to your own personal brand as well. So you'll still get the black and gold. And then if you have a personalized logo or team logo, then you can upload that as well.
Cool, thank you.
Well, this is all really, really neat, and I'm sure that our agents are going to jump on this. They're really cool, and super excited to see how they use it and how it benefits their clients for sure.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And, again, you could go in there and sign up for free and kick the tires. And I'm available to do additional Zooms, training, help you create your first listing. I know this is something that's new. So we're here to absolutely help in every way we can. Phone call, Zoom, anything that we can do to make you successful. We're available.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today, Rob. We really enjoyed having you. I know that, like I said, some of our agents are just going to absolutely jump on this. So I'm really excited about that. But we really appreciate you joining us today.
Great. Yeah, thanks, Rachel. And then to make sure, if you wouldn't mind, the link I had provided you the other day, that's the best way for anyone with Realty One to sign up. If you go to our main homepage, you're not going to see this pricing. And so it's important that you enter through this way. And then if you have any problems, of course, you can just email me and I will get it taken care of. But this is the best way to join.
Awesome. I'll make sure to attach that link in our recap email.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining. We hope you guys really enjoy it. This is Tech Tuesday that we had, but also, jump on this. This is a great way to stand out amongst other agents. So again, thank you, Rob, for joining us. And that's it. All right. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, Kim.
Bye.